Hi everyone and welcome back to the Bods. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join me today for a bonus video. I'm actually going to be reviewing the Venetian houses, set 910023. This is one of the Bricklink designer sets from round 2. I couldn't wait to do this one, so that's why it's a bonus video. I need to show you. I've really enjoyed the build. I think it looks really beautiful. So let's quickly review the details of the set. So it's got 3,470 pieces. It was $219.99 in the UK. You can't buy it anymore, so it's kind of a mean thing to review, but if you're still waiting on your set and you want to see more about it, then maybe this will be helpful. The set comes with 13 minifigures and it's in 17 bags. So let's have a closer look. So as you can see, it features 2 base plates worth of buildings. You've got the one section which has got a bridge and then a smaller build, and the other section which is the main building. It takes up most of the base plate. There is a small amount of water at the back. You can change the configuration of how you display these. So I've currently got it with the bridge in the middle, which I personally feel looks best. I'll just switch it up and show you the other configuration that you could do. So you can have it this way round, so you've got the 2 buildings next door to each other. Obviously the colourings of the buildings are different, so you've got the white detailing here versus the tan on that one, and the bricks themselves are different colours. But the roofs are matching, and you could imagine that this is like the end of a street and then the canal is on the side, but I personally like it with the canal in the middle. I think it gives it a lot more character and just looks really nice. So a couple of downsides on the exterior of this set. The pavement has no jumper plates for the people to stand on, so they do move about quite a lot. Easily fixed. You can just get some dark tan jumper plates and insert those in. I don't think that's that big an issue, but I just like to point these things out. And then on this second piece over here, you've got this really odd 1 stud high wall, which is literally there to provide the connection holes so that you can connect it to the other set, which just is a bit weird. So it means that when you have the other building next to this, it's got that random wall in between. It doesn't look bad, but it is a bit of an odd choice. The colouring in this detail actually seems pretty accurate. If you look at pictures of Venice, this bright orange roof is pretty spot on, and I really enjoyed building the roof. It's quite a nice technique, but the water itself is very blue, and I think if I remember rightly, the canals in Venice are not quite that crystal clear looking, so it doesn't bother me. I think it's obvious that it looks like water, but if you're looking for slightly murkier waters to reflect the true water of Venice, then you might want to tone that down a bit with some transparent plates on top or something. I don't know. One thing that Ian did mention that he wasn't entirely sure about is this window up here. So you've got a very grand front, and he just thinks that bit is lacking somewhat. I don't know whether it should have been sticking out maybe to give it a bit more grandness, make it look a bit more ornate, but I can see what he means. It's kind of just sat back and a bit boring. But I think apart from that, or even with that, I think it still looks pretty amazing. So let's have a look inside the buildings. So this is the smaller of the 2 buildings. You've got a little jetty on the side, a little fisherman there as well, and then the door into the building. And this is a art museum. So you've got several different pieces of art on the sides, all in the sort of same colour tones, so red, white and black. You've got a little spiral staircase in there, but it's not too filled because, you know, that's how art galleries are. So I think that's pretty accurate. It looks pretty good inside. We go up a floor to this level. This is just like a small apartment. You've got a bed in there, and then a desk with a sort of shopping list, a newspaper, and then a bookcase built into the window there, which I think is quite nice because you can see the bookcase from this side, but you can't really see it from that side, so you've still got the window detail, so it works quite well. And then a very retro looking phone in there as well. On the exterior of that floor, you do actually have a drain pipe, but that, once you put it on, doesn't really go with anything, so it's just in the middle of the building. There's a drain pipe that just stops halfway up. That's a little bit strange. Second building also has one of those random drain pipes that sort of starts halfway. Maybe that's the other part of the drain pipe for that one. I don't really understand what happened there, but there you go. Nice little doormat. Pretty colours. And then the back, you do now have a full-on drain pipe. But because it's connected, it kind of ruins a little bit the modularity of the set, because it's not able to be taken apart without disconnecting that. This is the back entrance to the building, so you've got some steps down from a little sticky outy bit that the gondola will link up with. So let's have a look inside. So we've got the downstairs level is a library. You've got the little children's library in the corner with the boys reading a book. Lots and lots of bookcases, sort of so two sticking out together. One on the far wall, there, with the librarian behind the desk, a little seating area. And then near the back door you've got like a little newspaper rack and some more of those spiral staircase stairs. Pretty detailed inside actually. I think they filled the space really nicely. The next level is kind of some music rooms. It lists this as like an auditorium, but I don't feel like there's really that much space in here. So all you've really got is a piano, the lid lifts, and it's really nice technique there with the sort of grill pieces making the keys. And then in this far room, a little space for a boy to be playing the saxophone. You can see him just there playing that saxophone. Again, quite a small room. The internal walls don't go all the way to the ceiling, and in fact they're in no way connected to the external walls, so they've just been built standalone. And that leads me on to sort of the build experience with this. So these far ends of walls, that entire wall panel is built as one away from the main build. You build it pretty much in your hand, and then it's not until the end where you then put on the plates at the end to stick it all together. So it's very much walls not joined together until the very last step. I don't know if you might enjoy that. It's quite nice not having to reach over to the main build a lot, but it does mean that occasionally you'll go to put on a brick and it will just all like fly out of your hand, because it is just a one stud thick wall that you're holding in your hand. The build does come with a gondola and a gondolier as well, so it's a pretty simply made little gondola, and that fits quite nicely out the back on a little jumper plate, but it doesn't stay very well, and that's constantly falling off. It's a very flimsy attachment, but I guess you would be playing with that, making it go up and down the canal, so that's not too big of an issue. So back to the instructions. The set doesn't come with any printed instructions because it is a Bricklink designer set, and it has a weird way of splitting the bags up. So there's 17 bags in the set, but you don't stop. The bags, there's pieces left over from like building each section. You then build a little bit of each other section, so they're not split on the edge of a build. So I finished this whole base plate, and then I did just a little bit of the tiling of the next base plate using the pieces that were left in the bag. So I feel like they could have made that a little bit smarter. So it meant that when you want to split a build, so Ian built the roof for me, he had to start halfway through a bag and make sure he didn't lose the pieces so that I could finish off the previous section with those pieces. Also, in the instructions, the times two steps are denoted at the very bottom of the page, so it's very easy to miss those times two steps, and we all know how frustrating that can be. The box for the set isn't as nice as the Castle in the Forest ones from the first round. I don't know if it was just the Castle in the Forest or all of the Bricklink designer ones from round one came in the sort of open flipped top ones, and these are just the standard Lego boxes with the tape at the ends. So if you're a fan of the better boxes, you might be disappointed with this. So I guess the last point that I'm going to make, and it might be the one that is the clincher for you not to buy this set, and that is, it is quite a repetitive build. Now for me, that doesn't bother me. I actually really like a repetitive build because it means you can start building up a bit of memory on how to do it, and you can build it a little bit faster and a little bit less paying attention to the instructions so you can interact more with people on live streams and stuff, which is really good for me. But I know that's not for everyone. So all of the windows are pretty much the same technique. Some have slightly smaller curves, so that's I did go a little bit wrong on that just because I wasn't paying attention to the instructions. And then all of the main wall sections, they're all pretty much the same. And they're very nice and clean and white. So I like the fact that there's nothing kind of getting in the way from that clear line like you sometimes get on the edges of modulars. So you can kind of display that edge, but that is all literally the same technique every time. So if you don't like the repetition, this is probably not a build for you. But repetition aside, this is such a beautiful build. I really enjoyed the interior details. I think they were well done. There was quite a lot of them. They made the build a lot more fun if you ignore the repetition of the actual building itself. And the only other thing that I'm worried about is where exactly I'm going to put it, because it is a big set. It's going to take up a lot of space in the city, but I think it's worth it. It looks really, really good. It's so pretty. Helps if I put that the right way around. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this set. Did you already get yours, and did you find the same issues as I have? Or do you literally love it as much as I do as well? The smoothness of the roof is one of my favourite features. I could just spend all day stroking the roof, which is a bit of a weird thing, but that's the kind of person I am. So yeah, let me know what you think. Also, if you want to see any other Bricklink designer program builds, I'll link up our playlist for that. And stay tuned for the mountain windmill review, which I will hopefully do for you next week. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. See you later.